Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day taking a look here at BCH Bitcoin Cash, seeing what's going on. And if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. Truly hope you can learn something here today, and obviously you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. We're going to talk about key level supports, resistances, some Fibonacci retracement levels, and why we took a good 92% in profit, all targets achieved in 5 days here with Bitcoin Cash. Again, these are all automated trades that are taken through our Premium Plus and Premium groups. Premium is also very good. We took some profits from Ape, Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, and Matic. And those are all just targets 1 and 2. We got plenty more to come. All right, so really cool stuff there. Congrats to our community members for that. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is a link down below. That's the site you can go to register. We do have a summer sale going on right now as well. So when it comes to Bitcoin Cash, first things first, we're going to talk a little bit about support and resistance levels. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull out some Fibonacci retracement levels from the most recent high to the most recent low. Also, this long line here that you see is a previous support level that worked as a support level here moving forward. So it's really cool. That's half the reason why I felt comfortable and confident taking that trade, because Bitcoin Cash has been on the downtrend for some time because of this massive uptrend. And the bottom line here is that it was due for a correction, at least to the upside, to retest this recent low. So keep in mind, we got this recent low here, which is right there at 0.786 Fibonacci 220. That's probably going to work as a support level if the price can close above that today and or preferably this week. Okay, so looking for a weekly close in that area. In fact, if we take a look at the weekly high-low open close, we can see here we got a lot of support at those lower ranges. So the price does pull back. The likely candidate would be about 201 or 202 for the next key level support. And that's separate from 0.618 in Fibonacci. Typically 0.618 is a really strong support level. So if we see right there about 208 is a close approximate of the next closest to support if we lose 220. Okay. Now keep in mind, this just pumped today concurrent with Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulls back. We might see something similar, but you got to recognize too, some coins move independent of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is one of those. It's kind of one of those anomalies in trading that you see more consistently define the laws of Bitcoin. What I mean by that is most altcoins perform identically to Bitcoin, whereas Bitcoin Cash, minus this most recent range, has performed fairly contrary to it and doing well when Bitcoin does poorly, and the inverse in some cases as well. Okay, so just keep in mind, Bitcoin Cash is one of those coins I really like to trade just because it's pretty consistent in, again, defying the dailies from Bitcoin. I like coins that move independent of Bitcoin. All right, so now that we've established that, key level support resistances, what does that all mean? Well, let's talk a little bit about overextension and see where we're at. We're not even close to being overextended because most of the price action for a lot of coins, specifically altcoins, has been low. That being said, we can see the price action being close to about 60 on the RSI. So we're getting closer. We're trending towards the resistance level, but we're not quite there yet as far as overextension is concerned. That doesn't mean it's just going to keep shooting to 70 and higher because of that, but it does tell us that the likelihood of the price action staying above 50 on the RSI is greater, in turn reiterating and reaffirming support range right here between 208 and 220. So the likelihood of the price action staying where it's at or going up is greater than it would be to pull back massively. Worst case scenario, we see a pullback to the 202 for a bounce, but I'm speculating somewhere in the 0.618 to 0.786 levels would be the key levels that we're going to be looking for. All right, so that's kind of what the daily looks like. One last thing to summarize too, weakest, and this actually happens a lot in trading. Simple moving averages are oftentimes initially rejected for the first attempt. Okay, so we got to keep in mind this trend setter here of the 50-day SMA could be working its way down here. We might want to be aware of that being a potential resistance. Okay, again, something to think about, but commonly you'll see the 50 and the 20-day working concurrent with trend lines. We can see the 20-day SMA as well here working its way down. We broke through that cleanly today. So we broke our initial descending trend and we got a potential secondary descending trend we want to be mindful of and aware of. Okay, so just know that that is there, and there's a good chance we shouldn't see a price point much higher than 228, at least for the immediate foreseeable future. I would say this week we'll probably see some consolidation depending on how Bitcoin behaves. But you got to recognize we got a decent volume profile right at this range here, about 226. So we can kind of see there's that as well as 285. Of course, that's right when the price action was topping out. But if you kind of exclude that and you go with the most recent data here, you can see there's a lot more volume right in the range of 220 to 240. Okay, so again, that's going to work as a resistance. This range is the new resistance. All right, so just bear that in mind. We definitely got some potential for the price action to reject if it continues any higher. So it'd be nice if the price consolidated so we can leg up again with a nice healthy uptrend. All right, so let's take a look at the 4 hours, see what's going on here. Go ahead and remove the volume profile and kind of see we got 2 4-hour strong candles. Keep in mind, things typically happen in threes, so we could see this continue higher. We might see one more green candle, another 4 hours of continuation, or 4 to 6 rather, because we're 2 hours into this. But what I'm getting at is commonly when you see 3 strong green candles, you'll see a pullback. It's one of my favorite candlesticks to trade, patterns rather, and what it is 3 white soldiers. You see 3 green candles that are pretty large. The 4th candle is typically going to be an inverse red, or of course green if it's downtrending as well. So that said, we're kind of in that situation right now where we're overextended on the 4 hour, but I wouldn't be surprised if it continues. I just don't think there's as much gas in the tank here right now, considering we're about 20% up on the day, and Bitcoin is starting to kind of level itself out at 28,000, 27.8. Okay, so all in all, looking good here. We've got a strong convergence. We've got the MACD there. RSI looking good. Stochastic is probably going to tell us that we still got some room here. That does tell us we have more momentum and potential for the price to continue higher. And money flow index, of course, is running concurrent with the RSI. So those are all standard good things here. Really bullish 4-hour time frame. And what's to cause it to pull back, right? Well, if you start to see a dissipation in volume, then it'll start to pull back. But you got to recognize we got 40 minutes left in this hourly candle, and we're still looking pretty strong here. So while volume is starting to subside a little bit, we're seeing a lot of alts do very well right now because Bitcoin dominance is starting to plateau. And there's a lot of profits are being taken from Bitcoin, putting into altcoins. It's kind of this cycle that you'll see happen quite consistently. Anyways, what I'm talking about here on the hourly is that we're pretty much straight bullish here. We look at TD sequential, we see we're at a 9, even though in truth it's more like a 5 or a 6. So we really didn't have a lot of momentum going into this. But once we broke that key level resistance for Bitcoin, BCH took off. So what that basically just means for us here is that we got a tremendous amount of volume. Once the volume starts to dissipate, we could see the price pull back a little bit. I'd be very cautious and careful shorting into this coin. I know a lot of people that are short heavy today, and it's a little too early in my opinion. When things kind of spike up like this, oftentimes it pulls back, yes, but Bitcoin has a unique circumstance where its ETF was approved, or specifically there's ETF related knowledge here or news. And again, I think I covered this on my Twitter here earlier. What was it? The conversation was that the DC Court of Appeals has granted Grayscale a petition for review to convert its trust into a Bitcoin spot ETF. Okay, so again, pretty big deal. That caused a lot of positivity in the market. All right, so again, that's kind of where we're at here roughly. Not too much else to really note, because if you go smaller time frames, really the smaller time frames, I cover those less just based on the fact that we have more macro analysis here. It's important to know bigger picture what's going on. Right now we can see all time frames are bullish, and there's no reason to see or expect a massive pullback unless Bitcoin does so as well. I'm expecting Bitcoin to possibly retest 27.5, 27,000 at the lowest. And if that does happen, we will see some alts come down. So please bear in mind, if you have some profits to be taken, like this, for example, take your profits, right? I mean, there's a reason why we took our profits here from BCH, complete, full-on, every target achieved at 92%, because this is the overextended state. It could continue, yes, but you want to make sure to lock in those profits because you'll never be profitable if you don't. Okay. Again, it could continue higher. We could have left some meat on the bone, but that's how it goes with trading. If you don't take your profits, you never truly are able to survive to continue to trade later. Try not to get super greedy in this market. These are things that don't happen super often. And I think with all the stuff circulating with Bitcoin and the news, I think we're in a pretty good shape here to see BCH continue to increase. All right, so I think overall, the sentiment is positive. We do need to accumulate some volume here at this range between 220 and 240. Once we do, I think we're going to be able to kick off for a nice little ramp up. But once again, this volume needs to increase at this current level because we don't have a tremendous amount of volume at the 220 mark. Okay, I hope that was helpful and beneficial. If you like what you learned here today, hopefully comment below, let us know. Let me know your thoughts too. What are you doing with BCH? Are you trading this? Are you leaving it alone? Is it a long-term coin for you? Where are you at with it? Love to hear your thoughts. All right, thanks again so much for joining me here. Have a great rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.